My name is Lionel Bourgeois, your host, our co-host Biliso Sepole, and of course, welcome to Esa Yacoob for joining us in studio today to tell us all about what he does. Going back into your past, what were the things that you could remember, the early beginnings in what you do today?
Now, I'm privileged that I started my career as a school teacher in 1985,
Nice.
which is towards the end of apartheid, and obviously liberation followed thereafter.
Okay.
And as a school teacher, which at that time you were very limited with opportunities, I discovered that I'm destined for bigger things.
Wow.
Because I had this demon in me, entrepreneurial demon in me, after
Not a bad demon.
after the 10th time a day I had to say phylum protozoa teaching biology, I said, this is not for me. But as the child of which we call that era between, the old South Africa transformation to the new South Africa comes with opportunities.
Yes.
And my biggest fear was if I don't take ownership or take advantage of the opportunities. And that is where the stimulating mind started developing, because the pressure was, and a lot of us at the time, is that they said it was our time, but it means nothing if you don't have a understanding where you want and what your goals are, where you want to go.
Correct.
And together with that pressure, and together with I feel naturally that I was an entrepreneur, I started this career of mine, which is in the yacht boating industry. Now the question is, why a yacht in the boating industry? It's very simple. I didn't necessarily just start it there. As a first year of teaching, I used to have corner coffee shops selling luxuries and groceries.
So you started small, if you can
So
say
so that's the key word. You got to start small.
Okay.
And to discover, when you start making, you buy something for 10 rand and something for 20 rand, and you start understanding, wow, this is
10 rand in your pocket.
This is quite cool.
Extra lunch money.
And that excitement of understanding that interaction with that sale and the marketing of that sale start the foundation whether you want to be an entrepreneur or not. And then at the time also I've seen that the opportunities for minibus transport. So I started as a first in certain white areas, minibus transports, which I handed over to my brothers. They're possibly the biggest in transport, Fox Transport, in the province.
From sailing to going to the streets.
Yeah, but I always said that was not my passion. Minibus transport, that was the kickstart of business opportunities for us. Now I'm talking way back. I'm talking in 1984 or 85.
You're giving your age away now, huh?
Where minibus taxis was not big, and I didn't do minibus taxi. I do staff transport and tours. And I started what they call the Waterfront shuttles.
Yes.
And one day I was thinking, now why can't I have transport on the land, air, and the sea?
Makes sense.
Wow.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So a lot of articles has been written in the media about it.
Yes.
My dream, taxi man going on sea.
Okay.
So in 95 I launched the first water taxi in the Vienna waterfront to transport people in the waterfront. So what started as a taxi, I said, no, it doesn't work. So also what started, when 95 came, a lot of tourists wanted to come to South Africa.
Yes.
To see Nelson Mandela.
Yes.
They were curious about this newborn country that didn't go up into flames. And tours in the tourism sector, I have a lot of tours of people in township tours, wine tours in the land, and I developed then a tour bus within the waterfront.
Okay.
But that stimulate of being a taxi didn't stop me being taxi and water. In 1997, I launched the Robben Island Ferry Company.
Oh, right,
The first boat, Makana or Sumato, with massive boats to Robben Island as the first major BEE deal, shall I call it, with the partners that that I invested in me and believed in me. And
Somebody
that's the
believed in
start.
you.
That was the start of me getting where I am today.
Okay.
Where that interest of water transport was, which I saw by accident as an opportunity.
Okay.
Government is speaking now about the blue economy.
Yes.
Okay.
How you use water around us to make, us to make money out of water, whether it is tours, kayaking, surfing, boating, and all sorts of fishing, etc. Within the blue economy. I'm the accidental but tourist entrepreneur who saw it accidentally. There's
Yes,
an
Discovered
opportunity,
something.
Yes.
and I've been extremely lucky by having, I call them angels in my life,
Okay. Guiding you.
guiding me.
Okay.
And if I can tell anybody that's on this journey, there's two things that are right in my life. That while I was a political activist, I didn't let that keep me behind.
Okay.
I didn't let my past get me behind.
Yes. Okay.
I need to say how I go forward.
Yeah. The goal is to
that's
go
a big thing.
forward.
And
Yeah.
that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And with a lot of opposition, and I talk about it in the past at universities, and I get lots of flack about it that time, and people didn't enjoy what I was saying. And I will not stop what I'm saying. At the time, I discovered as a previous disadvantaged individual that I lacked certain skills.
Right.
I didn't have a father who finished standard school, standard 3. With the white counterparts in my industry, I had 300 years of privileged education.
Correct.
Now, once the one will say chase them away, I said no, I want to learn from them.
Okay.
And every cent in my pocket that I have today in skill is of a Jewish man called David Abramowitz.
All
Because
right.
I learned to build relationship with a man to say to him, I don't want your money, I don't want to be your B partner,
Okay.
teach me the skills
Wow.
in what I wanted.
Opening another
And
door of
he
opportunities.
is my praise every day. And if I can tell any entrepreneur that who's love to start business. In this morning seminar I had of Western Cape Government, I learned that those who survive the tourism industry are those who have built a strong network
Correct.
of key stakeholders.
So.
And that is my start of that marriage, or that asking this mentor to guide me.
So.
Interesting.
When we chatted on the phone, you spoke about the shipping industry coming into the Western Cape,
Yeah.
Cape Town particularly, and how there was a huge need for skill for the refurbishment of ships. Do you want to, Kate, to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah.
Because I think that might really as well interest future children out there who don't know anything about that. There is that profession that exists
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. So we are a maritime community surrounded by water at the southern tip of Africa. And we don't embrace the opportunities that it offers us.
Mhm.
And government doesn't either. We have a huge problem suddenly and I have a huge problem of getting skillful people in to be able to repair ships in what they call shipwright engineering, marine electrical, in that line.
Okay.
Huge problem, huge shortage. I have a vessel standing still for 6 weeks, can't operate one of my main vessels because I can't get the boat repaired, a simple shaft repaired, because there's no infrastructure here. So from government point of view, need to up their game and be able to, the brain drain that we had a huge brain drain in the maritime industry.
Okay.
We lost a lot of people in the marine industry to New Zealand, boat builders, boat engineers. The gentleman that helped me this morning is to help my vessel, is 75 years old, foreign Portuguese guy, is absolutely lovely guy. I panic when people like that retires or no more here,
Wow.
because there's nobody who's going to fill those gaps
Correct.
in. And so there lies a huge opportunity. My marine engineers that I use and my mechanical engineers, they're from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
So we don't have people trained up in this industry, which is very sad.
Wow. Okay, so there's work to be done.
There's a lot of work.
A lot of work to be done.
There's a lot of opportunities.
Look at like the brighter side of all of this, and because we always want to highlight what can we work with, what can we work with. So, and you might have that knowledge of what are the opportunities that are there for the youth, because obviously each and every single industry has its negative side, but maybe you would have a few insight of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that might be available and we don't know about it. Could you please share that with us?
So I think what needs to be done, and once again, the gentleman that we do all the Royal Yacht Clubs, engineering, he's 78 years old. He's the other guy. If he dies, we all in a panic. It's for the youth to go and do the basic course of engineering, all aspect, electrical engineering, and then apply for apprenticeships. Also say, I'll work with you intern for free, just to work, to teach me that part of engineering. I understand a diesel engine, but I need now to see how it's marinized. So it will take them 2 weeks to understand that. And go to these individuals to say, I want to do this. If you look at the one who consumed the most in training was a company called Robertson and Kane.
Yes.
Robertson and Kane produced the most sailing yachts in the world, up to 100 to 40 a month.
Wow.
They pop
Quite
out.
impressive.
Right? Catamarans.
Yeah.
So they consume a lot of this activity, but they train their own people and keep them in there.
In-house, yeah.
In-house, you see. There's lots of more opportunities in that regard.
I couldn't help but pick up a common thread that we've had in all the interviews, where each person has said, that you've got to go out there and be an apprentice, and and even if you're working for nothing, but just learn the job. It's been a common thread, am I right, Billy? So it's been a common thread, and I think that's an important message. Very often youngsters feel, they want to earn big, but we've all got to start somewhere. I mean, I remember as a youngster, I started at the bottom.
Yes.
And that's the way to start. It doesn't matter whether you have a degree or not. We've all got to start at the bottom and work our way up again. So I suppose if you've got the education, you'll get there maybe a bit quicker. But the point is we've still got to learn and start at the bottom.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
The most important part is if you're in the Western Cape, look at what is the sectors that drive this economy.
Correct, and tourism is...
And then so are you going to be in agriculture? Are you going to be in the tourism industry? We've got big harbours here, in the harbour industry, property development, and that's your sectors.
Yes.
Your harbours is a very important part of this economy here. The first is agriculture, then tourism. Now you need to know where you fit in to that economy.
Correct.
And I can only speak for the Western Cape economy. I don't know what happened in mines. They might be a different opportunities there. If I just look at skills as a whole, and more skills, in any business, entrepreneurial business, you have a marketing department, you have the HR, marketing, finance, and operations. Where there's a huge lack is for people in sales and marketing department. A lot of the marketing these days are not changed to digital marketing.
Correct. Yeah.
So I'm just employed a digital marketing strategist. That you can't move away if that is where it is.
Yes.
We spend hours on digital marketing ourselves. But if you Google what are the jobs that will not ever become distinct,
yes,
is direct sales and marketing, building relationships with your clients, and getting. You can't. We do not have, in my tourism sector, a new people develop in that industry, and we discussed it at length with lots of stakeholders. So what you had is initially you had. When tourism was launched, I call them the poppies, the marketing poppies.
Yeah.
Your Table Mountain, your Robben Island, your aquarium, your Robben Island, your V&A, and then all the different brands, your Protea Hotel. So they have the face of those organizations.
Yes.
They network at tourism in Durban, World Travel Market, and all around the world. But then nothing happened after that, and I know what went wrong. A lot of people did travel in tourism, which was not supposed to do. They didn't have the personality.
Yes.
So I was kicked out twice at the university when I asked them, because they sell the travel and tourism package. And I said to them, there's two parts of travel and tourism. There's you who's going to sit in a desk, who's going to sell package on a computer.
Okay.
You will not travel, because they lie to people. People thought they're in travel and tourism, they're going to travel. No, you're not going to travel. You're going to be on a desk and you're going to do everything over online. And then as the person who's going to go out there and build a relationship with hotels, with the concierge, if you do not have a personality for that, if you don't come, don't do the course.
Yes.
You need to have
People
the
didn't
heart,
like
eh?
that.
But
If
it's
you're
fact.
shy, it's a fact.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're in this marketing confident person comes to you, male or female, then he says, hi, I'm from Yacoob Yachts, our boats are this fantastic, and you're going to be, you need to sell me out there, you know, and build that continuous relationship with what they call, our industry work what they call DMCs, destination marketing companies. They are like your flight centers or your big travel agencies.
Okay.
So a flight center in Europe will bring 20,000 people to your country, or India of 30,000. They say, I bring 30,000 people to you. What can you offer me with your products, with your attraction products? Now you need a relationship marketing person to build that relationship with that client.
Correct.
Once you have it, you have 20,000 people, that's what bumps on seats.
Correct.
We lack that skill.
And I totally relate to you, because I started my career in the airline industry. I worked for UTA French Airlines for 12 years.
Okay.
And it's exactly what you're talking about. There's two different components of tourism. And we, most of the time we kind of merge it together and say, I'm going to go into tourism. Well, what does that mean?
Yes.
You know, what does that mean? You know, and once you start dissecting, which is exactly what you've done, and I'm so thankful for that, because you've highlighted for our audience that, hey, tourism is just not this narrow-minded view. It's, you know, and it's not just hoteliering, it's not just airlines, it's so much bigger than that.
It's broad, eh?
And so I'm really deeply thankful that you brought it up. And so having traveled the world and having worked for UTA, I wasn't crew, I was head office.
Okay.
But I had the opportunity of traveling and working at the airport and engaging with passengers and all that. And there's definitely this thing, and still today I talk about UTA as if, you know, and they've merged with Air France in 1989, I think. So we're going back a long way, but I still speak about that airline as if I owned it, you know, and there was a passion that drove it. And I remember I even dropped my surname and I became Lionel UTA for 12 years because I was so passionate about the brand.
You've got to be passionate about the brand.
Yes, and I could market it and I could, you know, go out there and do what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And somebody else picks up from that kind of energy that you put out there.
Yes, you know.
And unfortunate people like yourself who developed and took these, become your brand ambassador, or you know, that's other names like give yourself a sales executive or so representative. The minute you develop that person and they build a relationship with your airline companies, with your because we do a lot of work with the airline. We come here, your crew, on my crew on the boats, you know, and they love it.
Yes.
And it's hard work. The minute you take years to build someone up, a big company will steal them. It is a nightmare. So we're not producing enough people, and we're scared of developing because all my sales and marketing aids were stolen. These are the big company. Oh wow, I'll offer you more money. Come work with me.
That's it.
And that is what our lacking in our academia and tourism. Not those people who have that skill. Relationship. Not everybody can build relationships with people.
True.
Not everybody are nice.
And we often say, oh, you know, you've got to be a people's person, but that's not enough.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
There's more to that.
Yes, you can be a people's person, be in tourism, but yes, exactly. Who does the sell marketing, which is more of a relationship builder?
Absolutely.
It's a whole different ballgame.
Completely.
Yeah.
When that person walks in an executive room and convince the CEO to bring your client to your hotel or to your attraction, you need to know what you're talking to that person. It's not just a pretty face. Convince never is a pretty face. That's past it. It's building that trust in the relationship with people. Very interesting skill.
Vital skill.
But that takes time. Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And they can't be excited about the destinations here.
Yeah.
You know, that energy must come out.
And
you
you
got
must
to
feel
passion
it,
the
you know?
bond.
Yeah.
You understand? And you must feel it. Wow, that country is
You need to fly
amazing.
the flag.
That nonsense they talk about, the violence, nonsense. You know, this is the most beautiful city
And
in
it
the
is.
world.
And
It
it
is
is.
the most beautiful city in the world.
It is.
But you need to sell it. You
Yeah.
can't be academia to sell it. Not a people. You need to
Gotta
sell
be
it.
real.
And you got one pitch to do it.
Yeah. You've got to be real and authentic.
And that's why
passionate.
we do badly in a lot of fronts in this country. that people need to learn that skill and the confidence, not arrogance, the confidence to show what they have to offer. That is a key ingredient.
So I'm curious, are you pitching for the job?
Everybody wants me to be a politician. Yeah, I can do it. I will do that well, but no. I don't know what party. Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
So Esa, if there was a message that you would want to give to the youth today, what would it be?
You know, the most important message that I pick up everywhere and that I talk also naturally about, study. Learn as much courses of what you choose as a career. Develop that skill. I'm a school teacher by background, and I believe on people training and developing all the time. And in whatever career you choose, do that. And then thirdly, I can say to you, when you do that job, we live in a world that's changing, and it's changing radically. So whatever career you are or job you do, you got to be conscious about the ever-changing world.
Correct. That's the exciting part.
But that's the exciting part.
And it's all about...
It's not a market that we had.
Correct.
So the foreign tourists coming back and all these others coming back, and everybody recover from their bonds, etc., and now can start spending money. Then we just have this huge economy. But because, you see, very importantly, for all the youth out there, very importantly, I need to say this clearly. First of all, understand...
I hope you're listening. Isa's got a message.
This is, I prophesize and message all the time. I'm privileged to be married to an Afrikaans white woman from Pretoria.
Okay.
I'm writing a book called Sleeping with the Enemy.
Okay, interesting.
As a positive individual, what have you done to embrace the new world, the new norm?
There we go.
Because it's coming now. Took 25 years.
It's here.
It's coming.
Yes,
Come to my waterfront and you see, it's there.
Do
you agree with me?
Yeah, totally. And
sometimes I touch on issues, but you've got to face those things.
Yes, absolutely.
You agree with me?
Absolutely.
I'm a man that talks my mind.
Yes, no, and that's what
So
I like. And this is what the show is about.
I don't apologize with either.
No.
And I'm still the man who tells you 100% every cent in my pocket is a white human. That's my mentor, and I love him every day. So
absolutely.
and that's what I...
So Esa, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, your wisdom. Thank you for being part of us and part of the show, and for giving the youth out there a different view on what they need to look at. And that you've opened up the world that the maritime industry is desperately needing for in need of artisans, of engineers. And so, you know, guys, time for you to change your direction and time for you to look at things differently. And that's really what Jobs Out the Box is. So bless you, and thank you so much for joining us.
It's a great pleasure.
Thank you, Piliso. Thank you for your input. And to you all in the audience, thank you so much for being part of Jobs Out the Box, for sitting through the series, for listening to Esa and his knowledge and his wisdom. A great big thank you to you all. And we look forward to seeing you again on the next episode of Jobs Out the Box.